It's very busy here at Countryfile Live. It's hot. I'm glad to see we've got a nice crowd. We've got a nice crowd going on behind. This is the Staffordshire Bull Terrier demonstration team from East Anglia, just showing how a much maligned breed can be very, very nice, and it is too. They're lovely dogs, these. So yeah, they're drawing a crowd, and we've been busy. It gets quiet around about 4 o'clock, but it's a terrific show. There's so much, this long corridor, you know, of which we're part. You've got Adams Farm down there, you've got the shopping mall, you've got the arena here for the dogs, we've got the green, we've got the big barn, we've got the main arena. It's fantastic. There's so much to see and do. It's a wonderful place. It's got such a reputation from television. It's grown. I mean, John Craven's been doing it since the very beginning. I've known John for years when he first started John Craven's Newsround way back. So I mean, it's grown in popularity, but it's a brand now. People know Countryfile. They know automatically what you're talking about and what to expect from it. So I think having a show like this was a brilliant idea. I've done big agricultural shows, big open air shows for many, many years. Used to do the Royal Show at Stoneleigh and run the Countryside Pursuits Arena and stuff like that. This has taken all the best elements from those shows, added a few of its own, and ended up with this. I think it's fantastic. I don't watch Doctor Who on a regular basis at all. I've tried to see at least one episode of every Doctor, and I think I've managed. I haven't seen Jodie yet, so we'll see. I reserve judgment on her, but I can't see any reason why she wouldn't be wonderful. I think she's a terrific actress. I know all the others. I've met them all at various times. My favourite Doctor could only be William Hartnell, because that's where it all started. And without Bill's very definitive performance, you know, I don't think that the show could have survived. He was so, you know, he created what we now have with Doctor Who. The following is absolutely phenomenal. And it's interesting that it was announced a couple of days ago that Bill is going to have a blue plaque at Ealing Studios, which, my word, is that deserved or not? You know, he made 70 films before he did Doctor Who. So, you know, he was a film star. He was a big name. And finally, a blue plaque at the home of great British comedy, Ealing Studios. Brilliant. When I joined Blue Peter in 1967, I took over a dog that was already on the programme, Petra, who was really the nation's first surrogate pet, if you like. And she lived with me. She was my dog at home. She was owned by the BBC, but she was my dog. So she came home with me, she came to the studio with me, she went filming with me sometimes. So we had a nice bond, and that was lovely. When we were doing the show, I used to commentate on dog items occasionally. We always had the Best in Show from Crufts in the studio, so I'd do an interview there. And we always had the Obedience Championships, and I commentated on those. So when I left Blue Peter, I immediately was invited to go to Crufts and introduce agility, this sort of stuff, you know. And that was the first time it had been seen on television. I didn't invent the sport, I just introduced it to the television audience, which was great. And that meant that they asked me to go back the following year, and I commentated on the Obedience Championships. Did that till about 1989, by which time we got agility taking part, we got flyball taking part, and then I started doing the main show at Crufts. And it's actually, last year was my 40th Crufts on television as commentator and presenter, and it'll be my 41st next year in my 80th year. So there you go. If they take away a little bit about how much fun it is to own a dog, if they take away how to look after a dog, if they take on board that the Kennel Club is a pretty darn good organisation, which is advisory and has helped preserve the quality of breeding in this country, if they take away something that understands if they want a dog, why don't we ask the Kennel Club which one we should have? Go to Discover Dogs and have a look at that. We'll try and publicise all these things. If they learn a little about some dog charities, we've got one very prominent here, Dogs for Good. All of those things I want them to take, and that's just from this arena. But also I want them to be entertained, and I don't want them to be too hot, because it's blooming warm out there.